Hello, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Today I'm getting a little bit sweaty on the best of one standard ladder. I'm playing two cards that I know all of you absolutely adore, Formidable Speaker and Badgermole Cub. Before I talk a little bit about this awesome Selesnya aggro list, I have to ask you to continue to help support the channel. Sub up if you haven't done so already. It really helps motivate me and keeps me going with these videos. And of course, let me know down in the comments what you think the future holds for both Formidable Speaker and Badgermole Cub. So we are playing a Selesnya aggro +1/+1 kind of counter deck, and there's no beating around the bush. We are playing Gene Pollinator, Llanowar Elves, Badgermole Cub, and the Ouroboroid. These four cards make up a very familiar package in Standard right now if you're playing green and you want to do well. The rest of the deck is made up of some also pretty cool cards. We are playing Pawpatch Recruit, a solid 1 CMC creature. Also has a very powerful offspring ability and just a general ability. Whenever one of our creatures is targeted, we get to put a +1/+1 counter on another creature that we control. Then we are playing Voice of Victory. This shuts off our opponent's ability to interact with our board on our turn, and it also puts bodies on the field, which is relevant for a really awesome card from Lorwyn Eclipsed, the Bristlebane Battler. I'm very high on this awesome Kithkin soldier. It has trample, it has ward 2, it's a 6/6 for 2, but it does come in with 5 -1/-1 counters on it. However, every time another creature enters the battlefield, we remove one of those counters, and this thing just continues to grow into its true potential. Voice of Victory certainly helps with that. Once we get a bit of a board state going, we want to protect it a bit, so we have our Aven Interrupter, very good flash creature, flying, very good when we're putting +1/+1 counters on it from the Ouroboroid or maybe the Pawpatch Recruit. All-Star in the deck can really save your butt in some matchups. And then, of course, because we're playing Formidable Speaker, we're also playing Craterhoof Behemoth because, well, there might be situations where we have a whole bunch of mana and a whole wide board of 1/1s or 1/2s, whatever our mana dorks are. Well, we want to slam down a Craterhoof Behemoth and just overrun the opponent. Because we are playing Formidable Speaker, we can pitch a land or a useless mana dork later in the game and go and fetch up our wonderful Craterhoof Behemoth and slam in on the opponent. So that is the deck, pretty cookie cutter, but hey, we're getting sweaty, like I said. So we're going to see how well this Selesnya aggro list can actually do on the best of one ladder. See you over there. All right, hoping that I am recording a video that's going to be relevant by the time I put it out later on this week, because I know there is, in fact, a ban announcement coming up on Monday, I believe. Today is the 8th, so on the 9th or the 10th, maybe something like that. I can't remember if it's Monday or Tuesday, but it is possible that things might change. I really doubt it, though. I feel pretty confident in playing this deck right now. Our opponent doing a similar thing. Let's see who is faster. Like I said, you always have a Badgermole Cub on 2. In fact, we do have the Badgermole Cub on 2. Let's see if our wonderful opponent also following suit with the turn 2 Badgermole Cub. It's not, it's unbelievable. Unprecedented situation we got going on here. We are, of course, going to run out the Badgermole Cub, though. Animate one of these lands. It doesn't really matter which one we do. And I think I'm going to go out with the Voice of Victory over the Bristlebane Battler. That way, next turn, potentially I can attack in with the Voice of Victory with the Bristlebane Battler on the field and maybe start removing -1/-1 counters. We'll see. We'll see. All depends on what the opponent's follow-up is. We do have access to 4/5 mana. Could be 6 if we draw a... Ooh, okay, hang on. The opponent's got something different than I expected going on their side of the field. It is a Teamer Battle Crier list, potentially running, of course, Badgermole Cub. So they are possibly going to pop off here. Okay, we get the Aven Interrupter. So the Aven Interrupter makes me want to hold up some mana instead of going ham. The 4/2 body on the Outcaster Trailblazer. It is Outcaster Trailblazer. Ugh, ignore me. Is going to be a bit of a problem. I don't know if they're going to be able to combo off here. Okay, first things first. I think probably I want to just get my Bristlebane onto the field. And am I holding up the Aven Interrupter for one turn? Yes. Yeah, I think so. Man, what a weird situation to be in. The opponent definitely spewed out 2 really powerful cards, and I don't know what I'm going to be able to do about that. Okay, a second Trailblazer. We let it resolve. They are drawing cards. They still have access to 5-6 mana. And this, I don't know if I'm going to be able to actually overcome what the opponent's doing. They went first. They had a very spicy hand right off the bat, and they are playing with a bunch of action. If I can get a little bit of a window here with this Aven Interrupter, though, it's possible we can recover. Especially if we hit like an Ouroboroid off the top. Ouroboroid off the top of the library would be very good. Formidable Speaker can go, of course, and get that. There is the big card. So we were right in waiting with this devastating onslaught coming down. We were able to use the Aven Interrupter to get rid of that nonsense. They're not attacking in. We miss on that stuff. So we have 2, 4, 6 mana. Actually, I can't do what I think I said I could do. I can't use the Formidable Speaker yet. So, if I go, I said I had 6 mana. I'm going to pay 2 life because I am going to put out the Formidable Speaker. And I am going to also put out, man, the thing is, this card is going to be coming down next turn. We're going to have 6 mana. Oh no, I tapped it properly. Okay, let's grab another Aven Interrupter and just hold up this mana for a future thing. They did tap down the Leyline Weaver, so we can get in for 2 damage, and if they try to do the devastating onslaught one more time, we can at least stop it again. They know we have the Aven Interrupter, though. Railway Brawler. That's a big card. So whenever another creature you control enters, put X +1/+1 counter on it, where X is power. I think I have to send this away. I don't think I can allow that thing to resolve, right? It's just a little bit too powerful. And now we do have 2 Aven Interrupters on the field, which is taxing the opponent a little bit, but it's not really taxing the opponent enough. They're still going to be able to do this devastating onslaught, actually. They're getting so much of a discount from the Teamer Battlecryer. What a cool deck from the opponent. Oh no. They just did that for X0? Did they just make a huge mistake there? I don't know what happened. Okay, they still have the Leyline Weaver. So I do think I'm going to attack in. They can trade one of them off. I'm kind of okay with that. They decide not to. If they top deck something really powerful, we're just kind of toast. I think there's no way around it. I just need to hope I end up finding something really nice. That's all it is. Okie doke. Everything's on the field. It's up to you, opponent. If we end up finding a Formidable Speaker, we're going to be 2 turns behind because we didn't end up keeping a card in hand to be able to pitch to the Formidable Speaker. But if we end up just ripping Ouroboroid or the Craterhoof Behemoth off the top, naturally, we'll be okay. However, they just drew 2 more cards. Another Leyline Weaver, so they can block both of these Aven Interrupters. This Leyline Weaver is huge. Llanowar Elf is, again, getting bigger because of the Railway Brawler. So we're in a top deck war. Okay. Come on, deck. Formidable Speaker. Okay, we wait 1 turn. Please whiff. Please whiff. I played this so poorly. I shouldn't have put out something else at some point. And we draw that. So we got 2, 4. No, we got so much mana, actually, because we have double Badgermole Cub. But it's not enough mana to 3, 6, 7. I only have 7 mana available to me. I don't have Craterhoof Behemoth mana. So I could go Ouroboroid for the big turn later, or I can... Are they going to draw? Okay. We're grabbing it. We're grabbing this. We're going to wait 1 more turn. We just have to survive one more turn. Oh, I really messed this up. I always get into these panic modes when the opponents are doing crazy things. Oh, and a real shame that the opponent may have just drawn land. I mean, I don't feel overly bad about that because whatever. Okay, Craterhoof Behemoth onto the field. What am I tapping? It doesn't matter. They can't actually do anything because we have the Voice of Victory, right? Boom. All right, and 2 more babies go in. Yeah. Badgermole Cub, definitely not a problem. We could have lost this match so easily, though, at any point. The opponent, unfortunately, having a little bit of a problem. But there you go, 166 damage to the dome. Craterhoof Behemoth proving to be a fun card. It is what it is, right? That's what I signed up for today. I came into this video with the intention of doing exactly this. Yeah. Okay. All right. Looks good to me. Nice, clean magic coming up here. Get to go first. We have 3 Aven Interrupters ready on deck to slow down whatever the opponent does. Yeah, okay. We'll wait 1 turn. Anything that they... Basically, we're just throwing this Aven Interrupter out to stop every single thing that they could possibly put onto the field for the next X turns. That's what we're doing, right? Let's swing in with this Aven, and we'll do the exact same thing. And eventually, all these plotted cards are going to be so expensive for the opponent. So we'll just do this. Why not? No, they have a Hex. No, Hex doesn't get rid of the Aven Interrupter. They might have a Hex, though, to get rid of our Llanowar Elf, which will be a problem. We need to hit a land now. Okay. Right on time. So, yeah, let's wait 1 more turn. I could go Voice of Victory into Llanowar Elf, though, but then... And then they would use maybe land drop, use the Nowhere to Run to take out the Llanowar Elf. Let's wait 1 more turn. Are they going to go for it? Nowhere to Run? I'm kind of... Okay. Why not? That other Nowhere to Run... Oh, I mean, both of these cards are going to be kind of stranded in the exile zone for a little while until they can deal with this board of 2/2s. And if we peel a land, we get to throw the Ouroboroid onto the field. And, now, you know what? I'm going to be a little bit careful. I'm going to put the Voice of Victory because I really feel like they have a Bitter Triumph in hand. And I would rather force them to use a Bitter Triumph here. I'm not brave enough to put out the Llanowar Elf. They could also have a Black Sun. They could be building up 5 mana. Day of Judgment, okay. 5 mana for X3 Day of the Black Sun. Wipe the board. That's kind of what I was also thinking. So now the Ouroboroid has to grow and avoid the Bitter Triumph, but I think they probably... No, I mean, it's dead. They have... I shouldn't have put it out. I mean, it doesn't matter, right? They have 2 Nowhere to Runs. We're going to get punished for the things that we did the previous game. Requiting Hex, Day of Judgment, Nowhere to Run. This opponent came prepared to destroy a deck like my deck. And I guess that's the case. You know, that's what's going to happen when you're playing a deck like this. Everybody's out here hunting this deck. We might not be able to recover whatsoever. Okay, Bitterbloom Bearer is going to be doing some pretty good damage to the opponent. So we just need to get in for just a slight amount more damage. And maybe we'll be okay. If we can get... The rabbit would be pretty good off the top right now. The rabbit, because that would make my Bristlebane Battler a 4. It would have made it a 4/4. Now I can't attack in, though. So I give the opponent the opportunity to recover. They're going to draw a ton of cards with the Caretaker's Talent. I kind of like what they're doing. It's definitely a pretty neat deck. I tried to build something similar, but it just didn't really work out for me because as soon as I play a deck like this, all my games are Jeskai Control. Basically just that. Jeskai Control, mono white tokens is another thing. Wow. Caretaker's Talent Part 2. Part 3. 2, 4, 6 mana. If I hit a Badgermole Cub, I will have 7 mana. Not quite enough to slam this Craterhoof Behemoth. But they're losing life. I know they're drawing a ton of cards, but I kind of feel like it's still possible that I could recover here. Probably not. There's the Bitter Triumph. I really feel like they probably had that card in their hand for quite some time. Now, both of these Paw Patches do have Trample. So nothing in my deck gives. They just drew a lot. That was a lot of cards that they drew. Caretaker's Talent plus Bitter Bloom Bearer is actually a pretty sweet synergy. Okay, I'm in favor of that. And then they can level it up one more time and give all these tokens plus. I mean, they kill us. Opponent. That is a cool deck. This is so much cooler than what I did in the last game. Just Craterhoof, overrun the opponent. Them playing this like token strategy on top of all of this removal, just really neat. GG, good game. You like to see it something a little bit different. You can get in for that full chunk of damage. I guess I could have blocked. There was no point. This game was well and truly over. There was nothing in our deck that could possibly stop what they were doing. So, good on your opponent. Did I have fun? Skip. I really wonder what kind of data WotC is expecting to get from players when they ask, did you have fun? Because it has to be skewed so much towards player loses, player not have fun, player wins, player have fun. So what are they getting out of asking people that, like, really, right? It just seems so goofy to me. I wonder if I should have gone out with the Voice of Victory here instead of the Badgermole Cub, because I didn't have a follow-up. You know, usually Badgermole Cub feels a lot better when you have a turn 1 Mana Dork, turn 2 Badgermole Cub, and then you can go into another 2 CMC creature. Okay. So they're going to take a Voice of Victory out of our hand, but they're not keeping the Deceit on the field this time. Oof. Ouch. Alright, we'll just put the Temple Garden onto the field, Voice of Victory, and then attack in for 5. Hope we can find something good off the top. We do have Ouroboroid mana if we do end up finding our boy. And, you know, the Paw Patch Recruit, they're going to have to take that out before they take out the Badgermole Cub. Demolition Field and a Core. Okay. I like this type of deck that the opponent is playing. I've actually tried to play a similar type of deck myself, but it just didn't really work out for me. We take the opponent down to 5, and we have the Aven Interrupter sitting here, so there's a good chance that probably they won't be able to recover. Unholy Annex. Yeah, they can drain us for a little bit, but outside of having a Hex to maybe kill the Badgermole Cub now, still, there's so much damage everywhere. We're going to put a +1/+1 counter on whatever they don't, or whatever they target, whatever they don't target, I guess. And yeah, bad spot. Okay. All right, making the decision to cut the last game, it was a loss. It was against Azorius Control. Of course, this deck is going to have a hard time against, you know, hard to control, and it's just not fun to watch. So I'm making the decision, scrapping that game. The opponent, literally Day of Judgment after Day of Judgment after Day of Judgment. It was like a 15-minute game. It's not fun. It's just grueling all the way through. The opponent having the turn 1 Duress into a blank. That sucks for the opponent. We get to put out a Voice of Victory on turn 2, and now this Bristlebane Battler might actually be able to grow quite well. They have nothing. So we could hold up the Aven Interrupter, but I think I'd rather get this going. Attack in for 3. And we get a Bristlebane Battler that's going to be attacking for 5 or 6 next turn. That's pretty good. That's what I like to see from this little boy. Stock up. Am I going to run into another board? That last game that I played, you know, it hurts, right? When the opponent's just board wipe, board wipe, board wipe, and you try, and oh, they had authority of the consoles, so none of my haste or any of that kind of stuff mattered whatsoever, right? Okay. Yeah, you slam Ouroboroid. Yeah. Unfortunately, we don't get the +1/+1 counter replaces one of the -1/-1 counters, and so the Bristlebane Battler didn't go up to 7/7, but it did kind of get that much removal, right? Because it had 2 creatures enter. The ordering doesn't really work out. Okay, so what a contrast from the grueling game that I just went up against Azorius Control, and we're back on the winning train. Una is up next. And we get to go first again. We get our Llanowar Elf on turn 1. If we peel the Badgermole Cub, we'll be in really good shape because we can go Badgermole Cub into the Battler and then start holding up these Aven Interrupters. We don't get that. So I think I'm just going to get in with these sharp Llanowar Elf knives for 1, and then Bristlebane Battler onto the field. They can't remove it very easily. They could have nowhere to run on the following turn, but I kind of put them on a hex right now. They could possibly have something like that. Forsaken Miner. Well, we're not attacking in with anything, but I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in the Temple Garden so that I can at least bounce whatever they play on turn 3 back with the Aven Interrupter, grow our Bristlebane Battler ever so slightly, and go from there. Now, am I going to put out a tempo Aven Interrupter if they don't play anything? We got lucky. They decided to go out with the Unholy Annex, so now we get to get in for 5 damage. And we get to, oh, yeah. I'll do this. I will put another elf on the field just to get a little bit more damage out there. And also getting closer to the Craterhoof Behemoth. They go with, oh, that's so cute. They're able to do the, I always forget about that. When I plot these cards, they're able to cast it back out for either side. So they decided to go out with the 6/6 demon side. Very, very powerful. If they get a 6/6 demon on the field, I don't know what I'm going to do about that. But now the Unholy Annex is costing 4 unless they remove one of the interrupters. Thankfully, the Bristlebane Battler getting up to 4/4 can make it a little bit hard for them to remove if they have nowhere to run. Ooh, they pitch a land. Okay. Well, all I can do, slam in, and now we have 7 mana. Do we hit the 8th mana source to be able to unleash the Behemoth? Whoa, they decide to go this way. Okay, we're still unleashing the Behemoth, although the Behemoth will be lethal, even though we're tapping our 2 Llanowar Elves. Of course. Well, Aven Interrupter coming in to maybe save the day in a few minutes. Yep, sure, you got your Hex. Still taking them down to 2, taking them down by 3. And our Craterhoof Behemoth dreams have died completely, but we do get to do a 3rd Aven Interrupter. This bird rogue is absolutely obnoxious. Macaron up next. Do we get to play first again? Man, we have been getting lucky with playing first, I think. Sure. We're going to end up running this out for untapped, I think, at some point. I really don't see the chances of us not putting that Multiversal Passage out untapped at any point. So we'll just take the lump right now. Now, because we're swinging in. Let's go for it. Let's go, baby. Whoa! I'm always surprised when opponents trade like that. Man. I would never expect them to give me a Gene Pollinator for the Paw Patch Recruit. Okay, Bristlebane Battler. We need a land off the top. We hit the land. It's huge. It's huge. Okay, Badgermole Cub. animate the Temple Garden. We put out another Bristlebane Battler, get this guy up to a 3/3. And against Simic, I like where I am. We can hold up our Aven Interrupters for following turns. It'd be nice to get maybe a 1 CMC creature here. Maybe another Pop Hatch Recruit, so I can apologize for throwing it away earlier. Instead, it is that. So I have two, okay. Well, I'm going to challenge the Tyvar. If they want to trade a Tyvar for a Battler, I'd be happy with that. Okay. The land, not great. But let's see if we can get something big here. Ho, 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 ho. All day, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Get out of here, Ouroboroid. Aven Interrupter proving to be like the best card in this deck. That's not a good draw, though. Oh, they should be taking 6 damage here. It actually might be a big whoopsie here by not attacking in with the Aven Interrupter. That is my bad. I'm going to do it again. Okay, now the Bristlebane Battlers are up to 3/3 and 5/5. And they need a pretty good follow-up here. Although, I really, really am annoyed that I didn't take them down to 8 life that last turn. I just clicking through things too quickly, not taking my time. Don't be like me. Plan out your turns. You do have enough time. You don't have to rush through things. We still get lucky, and they couldn't do anything. Aven Interrupter being so awesome. Oh. Blue Boy up next. Rocking his cloud avatar. I love it. We get to go first because we do. I can't keep this one. As much as I've been pumping my boy there, you can't keep that. This one looks good. I guess we throw away the Ouroboroid. And yeah, we hope that we just need a land. And a slight resistance. Mythic Champion 2019. Mythic Champion 7. Playing a fancy deck over there. The Azorius Auras deck. I'm a big fan of the Azorius Auras deck. I think it's great. Appropriate for Blue Boy, I suppose. Seam Rip to hit my Voice of Victory? Okay. I don't know which one I would have preferred, actually. Maybe it's better to have the Mana Dork on the field, though. Especially if we find... What do we want? I guess we just want land. It's not a land. It's good, and it's good, but it's not what we want. Okay. Yeah, fine. Get in for another 1 damage. They're not going to block with the Otter. And so now we are in a spot where we can maybe jam the Ouroboroid onto the field next turn. And if they don't have Into the Floodmaw or Boomerang on the following turn, they could be in a lot of trouble. They could be running No More Lies, though. Okay, Island into the Nurturing Pixie. They're going to pick up the Seam Rip? No. Come on, pick up the Seam Rip. Instead, they go with recycling the Otters. And, so we have our opening just to slam Ouroboroid onto the field. And we're going to have to stem the bleed. We are down to 9. They are attacking pretty hard with things. And unfortunately, we aren't really drawing very well, are we? We'll put that out, and then we slam this, tapping the Llanowar Elf. So now we have our Ouroboroid and our Badgermole Cub back as blockers. And then the following turn, we have our Formidable Speaker to maybe put on the field for some reason. But I don't know. I know what this deck can do. This Prowess Auras type of deck. They have a lot of tools. They are going to get double strike next turn. And we are at 9. It's such a precarious place. In fact, I think I need to chump block the Optimistic Scavenger. So you know what? Definitely a mistake on my part. I shouldn't have tapped down the Llanowar Elf. I should have been thinking a little bit further into the future. Should have tapped down the Badgermole Cub with the Gene Pollinator so that I could have put the Llanowar Elf underneath the Optimistic Scavenger because I knew I was going to be chump blocking something. Next turn, the Nurturing Pixie is going to get double strike and probably +1/+1. So the Nurturing Pixie alone next turn is going to be lethal. So maybe I actually don't need to chump block this turn. That looks like lethal damage though. We go this way. Poor Badgermole Cub. All right. Leave it to an Aura's deck. Optimistic Scavenger. Still, one of the best cards out there. It doesn't really matter what I do here. I can, of course, throw this away. I'm just kind of going through some motions. I only have 2 mana available to me. So what do I grab? I grab a Badgermole Cub just for funds. I can't cast it out because I can't. Why? I'm not attacking in. Why couldn't I do anything? Is there something on the board that's preventing me from tapping the Gene Pollinator? What am I missing? What am I missing? Hang on. Somebody explain to me. What do they have on the field that is preventing me from? Why couldn't I? Surely I could tap the Gene Pollinator, right? Huh. It doesn't have summoning sickness, does it? I'm really perplexed about that Gene Pollinator. Not that it would have made any difference, but I still don't know why I couldn't tap the Gene Pollinator down for mana. I had untapped things, right? Curious, just curious. Ooh, what are these backs? Like those backs. Ooh, hoo, hoo. Okay, what is our opponent on? Surely nothing good. So let's put the Pop Hatch Recruit onto the field. Is this going to be a Kavaro deck? We haven't run into Kavaro in quite some time, so I'm kind of overdue to get smacked down by some graveyard shenanigans. I also like this pet that they have. Very cool one. And he's got a balloon. Not anymore. Okay. So we have a Voice of Victory now. I think Voice of Victory, I don't mind that. I probably should have just attacked in with the Pop Hatch. Although, would I have attacked in with the Pop Hatch knowing that they might have a Flash Merfolk thingy, whatever it's called? I don't know. Maybe not. I have no idea what to expect from an opponent. Okay. So whenever you see a card like this, you know that the opponent's doing unfun things for decks like my deck. That's all I can say. Starting town, sure. Let's Badgermole Cub. Yeah. Get in for 3 and see how... cracking voice. See how bad things go for us. I have a feeling we're just going to be walking into maybe like a mill control opponent. Maybe not with Quantum Riddler. I have no idea. There's certain, I've talked about this before in other videos, there's definitely a certain power in playing a rogue deck. Because when you play a rogue deck, you know, sometimes you just can't predict. Look at how often I know exactly what's going to be coming, but then you get into some of these positions where it's just like, who's playing Spell Snare, Terminus of Return, and Quantum Riddler? I don't know. They still have 2 mana open to them. And they definitely have something here. I don't feel safe whatsoever. Is it going to be a Bitter Triumph? Are they going to be just letting us load up the board so that they can wipe it in a minute with Deadly Cover-Up? They just have a Deceit to remove the Ouroboroid from our hand. But they don't have the Deceit combo where they can return it back to the field. Am I going to get hit by a Deadly Cover-Up here? First things first, of course we're attacking in for 5. Voice of Victory onto the field. Let's go, baby. If I get hit by the Deadly Cover-Up, it's the way it was meant to be, I suppose. But if they just run out the Quantum Riddler, maybe that's okay. We're not playing any kind of interaction, though. Like, we're just hoping to go around or go over any kind of creatures that the opponents put in our face. It is, in fact, a Quantum Riddler drawing a card. 1 mana open to them. They have a Hex, maybe? Kind of would prefer them not to have a Hex. Passing the turn. The thing is, if we attack in, we're going to be losing something. But we will be getting in 3, 4, 5, 6. We get 6 damage in. Is it worth it to get 6 damage in while losing probably the Badgermole Cub? You know what? I don't put them on a board wipe because I feel like they would have ripped it off last turn. So I'm going to attack in. We're going to go around. They're going to block probably the Badgermole Cub. Yeah. So we still get around for 6 damage. Bring them down to 4. Doesn't matter. We'll put this out. This game gets a whole lot harder when I don't have that early game and the Aven Interrupter. Aven Interrupter was so pivotal in those other games against various decks. And now, we're probably just in trouble because they have this card for 1 mana. They still hold up a ton of mana. They have 5, 6 mana probably available to them. But they need to have a board wipe here. So if they have the Deadly Cover-Up, GG opponent, it's all yours. If you don't have the Deadly Cover-Up, well, I'm going to try my best to get the victory. I don't think they have. They would have. You would snap off a Deadly Cover-Up so fast it would make my head spin. They haven't done it yet. There's no way they have it. So they're trying to figure out if they can put anything on the field to stop the amount of damage that we have coming in. They're only at 4 life. I don't think they got it. All right, I guess sometimes you just have to hope that the control deck doesn't have the board wipe. That's all it is. Looking like this might be the last game, no matter how it goes. We are against Oracle 82. We got a good hand. We have a good hand. We're against black. Black, man. Lots of people playing. Yikes. So they take the Badgermole Cub, right? That hurts. Lots of people playing black-based decks these days. Honestly, control is just kind of all over the best of 1 format in my experience. And there's a lot of combo decks, so I guess that kind of makes sense that people would be playing more control, maybe? I guess control does good, does well against combo, right? Somebody's got to stop these combo decks. Sure isn't me. All right, let's get blown out. All right. Well, we get the Bristlebane Battler onto the field. Gene Pollinator to follow it up. And if the Gene Pollinator can stick on the field, the Aven Interrupter will be a pretty good card to hold up. Maybe? Depending on what the opponent's on. I don't know what double Swamp plus Intimidation Tactics means. They might just run out. If they just run out a Unholy Annex here, I'll be okay. They don't run out anything. Echoing Deeps. You may have this land enter tapped as a copy of any land in any graveyard except it's a cave in addition to its other types. Makes my head spin. So if I put out the Ouroboroid, I have to tap down everything. And it's probably just going to get sniped. So probably I'm just attacking in with the Bristlebane Battler and holding up the Aven Interrupter. I don't know. Was it, what do y'all think? Was it not be a coward there, run out the Ouroboroid? I have 2 of them in hand, so even if they have like the Bitter Triumph for the Ouroboroid, was it such a big deal? Man, they do nothing. And now I run it out into it getting killed? Yeah, I don't know. At least our battler gets a little bit bigger. No way. Are they just found? There's no way that they don't have... I mean, we're going to get hit by Deadly Cover-Up next turn? Is that what it is? Land drop Deadly Cover-Up? There it is. So it was the turn before that I should have done it, and then we could have held up the Aven Interrupter. Okay, Formidable Speaker onto the field. That hurts. That hurts. Man, I'm so tired of running. I am playing a Badgermole Cub deck, right? But still, do I have to run into constant board wipes? Or the threat of constant board wipes, I should say. Double core. That's good. You know what? That's not too bad. So we get a land for our plains, and then we can attack in with our Formidable Speaker. They are down to 12 life. If I put the Aven Interrupter onto the field this turn, we have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 damage. Not 12 damage. No, it would be less than that because I would also have to tap the plains. So I would be only doing 10 damage to them. 9 damage to them. And they do still have these cores. These cores can turn into 4/4 artifacts. So I have to be aware of that. Eye of Ugin. Man, an Eye of Ugin gets a cast trigger. Oh, I hate you. I hate this so much. All right. We miss on the land. I made a mistake. I made a huge mistake. I'm tilting out. That's all it is. That's fine. We'll go with plan B. We'll put down the Voice of Victory. They can put out an Eye of Ugin for 2 mana and then gain 3 life and blow up something. Probably we didn't want to put out the Ouroboroid anyways because they would just be a beautiful target for, not the Eye of Ugin. What is it called? Ugin, Eye of the Storm. Unfortunately, so I tried to build a deck like this. I've mentioned it a few times now, but I resisted building it with Ugin because I don't want to be that person. Like, Ugin's such a lame card, and that's it. This run has come to an end. We're not going to go any further. I'm not going to fight through this. As soon as I put the Ouroboroid on the field, it's gone. They're going to gain life. It is what it is. We don't reach Diamond today. We take another L there, but we'll get there. All right, so Ouroboroid can still do some crazy things. I would say that the matchups that I ran into in this video were weird matchups. That is a lot of black. That's a lot of blue-black. That's a lot of control. And that's just the way it goes sometimes. Man, you just can't get around it. But I think if I'm playing a deck like this, if I run into people that are playing board wipes, I mean, they're just hunting this type of deck, and there's not a whole lot you can do other than hope to get lucky, in my opinion. I don't know. Maybe I'm misplaying this deck, but that is an okay win rate for this little set of games, still 64%. I think this deck, of course, is going to be strong. I like a lot of the things that are going on in the deck. Probably the Simic version of the Badgermole Cub decks are just going to be better because you're going to be drawing cards. You're going to have just better overall cards. But I kind of like how cute the Bristlebane Battler is with the Voice of Victory. It's neat. And I like doing neat stuff. If I wanted to go and get the #1 confirmed decks, I could go and do that. But I want to try to do something that's a little bit different, even though we're playing a very basic Badgermole Cub deck, because the Badgermole Cub is ridiculous. Hopefully, you know, my hope is, truthfully, because I think it's pretty well established by now. I don't like the card. I think it's bad for the format. Everybody says it's good, but there are like 6 cards that I would snip out of this game the moment I could. But maybe this video will be a defunct video, and I will never ever release it because on the BNR day upcoming before this video will release, hopefully something good will happen and I just have to delete this video. And I would be happy that I've wasted X hours of my life if that were the case. However, if you are hearing me say this right now, they were cowards and they didn't do it and they didn't make the format healthier, even though people believe that it's a healthy format. I firmly believe that the nonsense, combo-centric stuff that is going on in the format is not good. This is what I believe, right? Opinions, everyone's got them. That's it for this one. If you want to play some Badgermole Cub climb, I'm sure you can climb with it. It's fine. Just avoid your board wipes. Maybe. Take care for now. I'll catch you all in the next video. Sarang and bye-bye.